Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? ANZD here with you, and I want to talk about, in this video, having $1,000, $1,000 emergency fund. And do you have $1,000 emergency fund, and is it important? Now, the reason why this came up is because I came across a couple of videos, especially with Dave Ramsey, talking about people should have $1,000 emergency fund. That means having $1,000 put up, maybe in a bank account. Some people say it's not good to have it in cash, or maybe it's good to have some on cash as well as some in the bank account where you can have access to it when needed. Now check this out. The reason why it's important is because 65%, actually almost 70%, so over 65%, almost 70%, don't remember the exact number, but almost 70% of Americans do not have at least $1,000 saved up for emergency fund. So what that means is come down to, say if you have an emergency where you're driving your car and, God forbid or something like that, a tire blowout, or you have a flat tire, or something goes wrong with the vehicle. In order to get a new tire, you have to have at least $150 to $250 to replace that tire. Maybe you have to pay for towing, as well as other expenses that may come about. So dealing with that car now that has a flat tire, if you have $1,000 saved up, remind you, almost 70% of America do not have $1,000. So if you have $1,000 saved up, you can put that $1,000, you can take some money out of that $1,000 in order to go ahead and purchase your new tire, go ahead and get that tire fixed, or if something's wrong with the vehicle, go ahead and get that vehicle towed to a repair shop. In addition to, a lot of times nowadays, these repair shops is going to ask for, a money to diagnose what's going on with the car. It's going to range from $100 to $200. So having that emergency fund now, you're able to access that money in order to take care of the emergency instead of lagging and laying on that emergency. Time can add up. You be losing out a job because, or something like that, because you can't make it to work because you don't have your vehicle. That the time that the vehicle is at a shop or somewhere like that, they probably charging you for storage fee. The time that you're losing out on being able to do your everyday activity, that is also a cost, So it's good to have $1,000 saved up. It's very important to have $1,000 emergency fund because you can also do other things with it. Say, for example, we may be out of work for a couple of days, a few days, or something like that. You're sick, a lot of things that's going on. COVID's back on the rise. You have RSV that's on the rise, that respiratory syndrome or something like that. That is on a rise. In addition to, you have the flu season. You have a wide variety of things that can end up taking you out of work. Say for example, now it takes you out of work and you don't have any sick days, or you used up your sick days, or you don't have any remaining sick days, or you work at a job that you have accumulate sick days, or you work at a job that you don't have any sick days. What are you going to do with that time that you lost out on payment? So you either got to be finding other ways of sources of income where you can supplement your income, or the best thing is to have $1,000 emergency fund saved up where you can go ahead and access that money. And I'm not just talking about an emergency fund, because that's a whole nother topic. Having an emergency fund put aside means having your monthly expenses, monthly bills, all of that put up aside in an emergency fund. This is talking about $1,000 emergency fund, where other than this, even if you have or do not have your monthly emergency funds, they saying like save up to 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. That's all your costs, all your bills, everything. So that's all your costs of your monthly bills add up, everything add up. And you need to have each month saved up, they said, for 3 to 6 months, even up to a year. That's good to have an emergency fund. And I think almost over 80% to 90% of Americans do not have that emergency fund saved up. But going back to the $1,000 emergency fund, almost 70% of Americans do not. And you could probably do your own research. Check me and find out if I'm right or wrong. Leave it in a comment. if these numbers are right, but almost 70% of Americans do not have $1,000 saved up in order for an emergency or anything like that. Car repair, groceries, if you're out of work for a few days or a week or so, groceries, emergency if you don't have rent, emergency fund, your car get towed, you know. You definitely gotta have some money for that, because if your car get towed and your car stayed at that place, they constantly would charge you day after day, sometimes even by the hour after you reach a couple of days. So after a couple of days, then they're gonna charge you a certain amount after 5 hours, a certain amount after 10 hours. So definitely it's a good look to have an emergency fund just in case your car get towed. If your car get towed, you need to have some emergency fund, take money out, be able to put it back. And a good thing too, if you have an emergency fund, instead of putting into a savings account where you probably only earn 0.05% interest, some of these banks, they have banks with high yielding savings account. For example, I use SoFi. SoFi gives back about a 4.5% return on your savings, APY on your savings. So that's better than a 0.005, whatever the other big banks was giving. So you can put your money in there or put your money into a fintech account. We can also gain interest where they can also give you a debit card, where they can also give you a debit card so you can access your money and be able to use it when you have emergency. So I just want to shoot this quick video because I came across the number in some research. I was doing some videos, and also it's a hot topic because over 70%, almost 70% of people, maybe even over, do not have $1,000 saved up for emergency, just in case of any kind of emergency, to go have access to $1,000. So once again, it's Ainsley D. Hope you got some value out of this. Please leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing a lot more things on these journeys, on these missions that I'm taking, and I want you to come along and experience the journey with me. Talk to you later.